I'm just a sex tourist. I've been called it. I've been called a visa vagina. I've been called a lot of names. I think.
You know what's funny, right? So this whole episode starts off with Zena obviously talking about how she's been accused of being all of these things. But then the maddest thing about it is that she's saying in a way of trying to defend herself, to saying that this is not who I am. But then what happens next within the scene? Well,
Thinking long and hard about the engagement, and my decision's made. As hard as it is, I am going to call it off. Abraham wants something.
so she's not a sex tourist. She's not a visa vagina, but she's now going to call the marriage off. She's going to, obviously, decline the proposal. But why would she do that is the question. Why, but why? And I think, to be honest with you, her reasons were always going to be very crucial. And boy, did she not disappoint.
Something serious, but I don't. Like mixed cultures, and I live miles away and you're miles away.
Okay.
I know this might upset you, but
Let's forget about what might upset him real quick. So she basically says that me and Ibram want different things. I'm sorry, but this whole season, like, we've been led to believe that she wanted to, potentially commit to him, that she was potentially looking for the marriage. But then instead, she sends, oh yeah, but I'm not looking for something serious. So basically, you've been looking for someone to just basically bend you over and give you the pipe. But yet the whole season, you was complaining about him potentially being involved with other women. You was talking his account because you wanted to make sure that this guy was being loyal towards you. But the whole time, you actually didn't give a damn. Well, maybe she cared about whether or not, maybe she cared about him obviously double dipping, which obviously translation means that maybe she cared about him sleeping with her and somebody else, which I guess could make sense. But at the end of the day, she never had any intentions of making this relationship actually a relationship and taking it to the next level. I don't know about that. Everything about this woman just does not add up. But this is why people call her exactly what they call her, a sex tourist.
I've decided to break off our engagement and I won't be able to marry you. I think that you should find someone your own age.
And that reason itself blew me away. I was like, you're taking the mick. You spent a whole season wanting to be with a guy who was younger than you, making sure that when you arrived, the first thing he did was give you that schlong in the shower. To then now, and then she also complained about the fact that she thought that his sister was his wife. His nephew was his child. You know what this? So if you felt like he should be with somebody his own age, then why would you even bring that up in the first place? Shouldn't she have been happy that he was with somebody allegedly his own age? Honestly, the way she has played us this season has been absolutely disgusting. She definitely at this moment in time is #1 most disliked UK 90 Fiancé cast member in my books, because this woman right here, she has been simply moving mad. But let's get into it.
I think it's going to be better all round. I don't think it's a good thing, and I want you to be happy with somebody else.
I really hope Ibrahim did not watch the show back. I really hope that he didn't.
Oh, baby, you're crying. Oh, poor Abraham. Such a nice man. He deserves someone really nice. I'm a bit of a bitch, really, but...
This woman literally watches him potentially cry, but we didn't actually see him cry, we just saw his head down. And then she's like, well, in that case, that's my cue to go. And then literally says, well, I am a bitch, so it is what it is. 0 F's given. But you know what, though? You know when when you're watching something and every scene you see them, it gets worse upon worse upon worse? Well, it only got worse.
Nice to have known you. Nice man. Probably too nice for me if the truth's known. Oh, it might be time to get on the dating apps.
Wastes no time mentioning herself getting on dating apps.
I might try Lanzarote. It's a shorter flight.
This woman is truly full of it. Out of nowhere, she's like, you know what? Yeah, maybe it's time for me to go to Lanzarote and find another man. Find another victim. Wow, she done a great job playing every single one of us this whole season. Damn. But sometimes you gotta respect the game. You gotta respect the play in the game, eh? It is what it is. But hey, let's move on to what else happened in the last episode of 90 Day Fiancé UK. And obviously next week is going to be the tell-all itself in particular. But let's get into the next one.
But now they're going home and they're going to leave us alone so that we can get some rest.
So for those people who are wondering whether or not Ara made it to the UK, but there you go, ladies and gentlemen, she's now officially in the United States, in the United Kingdom.
Some cheese. Look, I have mature cheese.
Okay.
And I have mild cheddar.
Yeah.
And I have
3 bags of cheddar.
yeah.
You know, I only really put this scene in because I found this quite interesting. It really makes me want to ask a question. So obviously we know in the UK we've got multiple different flavors of cheese. There's the same thing in Italy, same thing in America, same thing in Canada, and same thing in several other countries. I had no idea that there were selective countries that had different flavored cheese. So all I really want to know from you folks is that, well, in your country, do you only have one type of cheese or do you have multiple different types of cheese? Because this was funky to me. Anyway, with that being said, let's get cracking back into the seriousness.
You told me there's a lot of cheese here in UK.
I didn't mean for you to buy it all.
I didn't buy it all. I only bought 3.
What's next?
What do you think is next? we're going to try for a baby.
And now, as we now find out, they are going to be trying for a child. I mean, obviously, we knew that was something that Ara's mum wanted from her daughter, and we knew something that Ara also said that she wanted too. And I guess Annie wanted it as well. So now we're in this position where we are obviously witnessing the fact that they're confirming that they will be trying for a child. But when it comes to trying for a child, though, they're going to be doing the IVF journey. And Andy's already confirmed in this episode that it's something that he can be approved for. So, okay, I see you.
Aww. I've got a job. I'm a customer service advisor in the medical field, and I'm so happy.
Now, listen, before I even get into that part there about her now getting a job, let me just finish up what I was saying before. You know, it's clear that, of course, you know, they won't be having no 5 kids anymore. There'll be no basketball team because clearly IVF isn't something that's very cheap anyway. You know what I mean? So that's something else that should be addressed. I mean, listen, at the end of the day, the question that I think the question really that needs to be asked, or I want to ask at least, is Ara already pregnant? I only say that because this show was obviously filmed some time ago. So obviously within current time, are we in for a tell-all where she may come out pregnant? Or are we going to find out on social media that maybe she's already pregnant? I don't know, but I'm just throwing out there that it could be a possibility. Now, with that being said, I'm going to say this right now, and especially with everything that is going on in the UK as well at this moment in time. Ara's been in the UK based on this scene here only for a few weeks, and she's already got a job. You know how many people here who are British, born here, complain about they can't get a job, and then they complain about immigration, and they want to start this whole immigration thing that we should all get out, blah, 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 because we're taking your jobs and all that kind of nonsense. If this woman could get a job within weeks of being in the UK, it just tells you one thing: you're lazy. It's just that simple. Let's just call it what it is. But either way, though, without getting too political into it, congratulations to her for being able to come to the UK as quick as she was able to, and also able to get a job as quick as she was able to. That is freaking amazing, man. Absolutely amazing. I do hope things do obviously go in the right direction for both Andy and Ara, you know. But like I said before, she's a lovely woman. Difficult one of those personalities. But nonetheless, though, let's move on and see what else happened with the other couples of this episode.
I make the wrong decision and one of us is miserable.
I think there is a possibility that he could resent me if he stayed in England.
Would you resent him if you went to Italy? I think you really need to talk to him. What do you...
I thought it was.
To be fair, it's very good questions there. You know, obviously, when you're trying to get someone to decide to move to where you live, whether it's country or city or whatever, the reason that question is any one of you's going to resent that idea. So that is a very, very good question. You know, and to be fair, I have definitely vibed with her best friend this season. So I feel like she's definitely brought, you know, important points, crucial points to the table. If I get the words out of my freaking mouth.
Easier for you to just say what you prefer, because you never told me what you prefer, and you still didn't.
I don't think we should rule it out. I just feel like we should try in England first.
It's crazy, right? Because I didn't realize this whole time that she had never actually said what she preferred. And then obviously he finally asked her, what do you prefer? And she doesn't reveal she really preferred the UK, which, okay.
See if you love it.
I will be happy. I'm happy here. It's nice.
Isn't it crazy how easy that situation was just solved? You know, it's like living proof that when people don't communicate, you don't get anywhere. But when you communicate, you get somewhere. You know what I mean? And the fact that, you know, she didn't want to move to Italy just yet. She wanted to be close to home, you know, with her family, you know, for the time being, to give her opportunity to learn Italian while she's in the UK and, you know, while she potentially gets pregnant as well. So to be honest with you, this is just one of those things that really shows us that if we, as long as we communicate, we will get an answer. Whether it's an answer that we like, it is what it is. But you know, this is just that perfect example. But let me know your thoughts.
Because you're going to give me in Brazil.
Why in Brazil?
Because I want you to move there. You know that.
It's a yes, but.
Oh, come on. Just...
Well, I don't understand. What, you want me to come around and give you a hug for saying yes, but? No, I'm not going to do that.
You know what I said. I said yes, but I want you to...
These two are literally nothing but a hot mess.
Move to Brazil.
So that's not a yes.
So, yes, you have.
We have an argument? Of course, argument. And he decided to sleep in his friend's house.
You know, this episode, you know, I really felt like Sandra was moving on some sort of blackmail type energy, to be honest with you. The whole time, this guy's trying to get an answer whether she wants to marry him or not. She kept saying, yeah, but if you come to Brazil, and literally every single sentence. And I'm thinking, damn, I understand love based in conditions and relations based in conditions and all that kind of mumbo jumbo BS, but the fact that she's saying to him, I'll only marry you if you come to Brazil, if you move to Brazil, I mean, come on now. That's a strong one. Like, not even like a compromise of an answer. Well, I can't say, yes, I do want to marry you. And then be like, you know, it'd be cool if we could da-da-da-da-da. But nah, she made it abundantly clear what has to stand for it to happen. I mean, some people may say it's a good thing, some people may say it's a bad thing, but boy, the delivery behind it was just crazy work for me personally.
I struggle to show affection, I know that. You know how my family are, we're not close. You got through adversity by being close with your family and holding on to them.
It is quite crazy though, isn't it? Obviously, when we come from different walks of life, it can definitely define or determine, obviously, how we are going to behave, you know, how we are going to either receive love, show affection, not show affection, you know. And obviously our backgrounds can definitely make a factor. I mean, make a factor. But at the end of the day, if we decide to be with somebody, we got to make sure that we're with somebody that we can actually be there for them in the way they need to be. This is why love language has become a very big conversation here, you know. I always say to people, like, if you're going to be with somebody, make sure you're with somebody who has a love language that you can deliver, okay? Because a lot of the time when it comes to love languages, people expect to be treated the way their love language is rather than treat someone based on their love language. If my love language, okay, is... should I say it right now? Let me say the one that is not mine. So let me say, for example, my love language is words of affirmation, okay? And your love language is receiving gifts, for example. Then I know that obviously that I have to show you affection or whatever in a form of, you know, obviously giving you gifts. Now, obviously, the gift doesn't mean buying you things like that. It just means, you know, I've got to be a giving person, okay? Right? Whether it's I go to the shop and I think of you and then I buy something, but, you know what I mean? Like, it could be a pack of crisps, a burger, or whatever, right? So, but of course, because then if I'm a person of words of affirmation, now it just means that I have to be reassured every bloody 10 seconds that you love me, you want to be with me, you know what I mean? I'm the best person in the world. Just telling me all those lovely things, you know what I'm saying? Just basically calling me God, which I am, but it is what it is. So, but here's the thing though, if mine's words of affirmation, but now I'm treating you based on what, but I'm complimenting you, but not tapping into your love language, and it's vice versa, that's what we go wrong. And that's where obviously this is where obviously these two have gone wrong, or at least for Finn, because she wants affection and he doesn't know how to give it, but he's saying that he's trying to do it. And you know what, I respect the fact that he's trying to do it, and I respect it even more that he is actually aware of why he does it. That's even better, because a lot of the time people do things and don't actually know why they do it. So for him, shout out to him for actually knowing why he behaves the way he behaves.
Whereas I got through adversity by pushing them away. I don't know how to show affection in the way that you want the whole time. I can do it, and I'm learning.
It's not
Like I said, he's learning, which is the main thing.
working. I feel lonely here. What do you think? We can continue this relationship unless you move to Brazil.
Here we go with the Brazil talk again. We can't even continue our relationship now, in general, unless you move to Brazil. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the tell-all for next week. I want to see what goes down with these two, because goddamn, If it was me personally, I would have ran by now. I'd have been like, okay, so you're telling me I can only be with you only if I relocate? I ain't gonna lie to you, I'm not gonna lie to you, folks. I've been in that position before, actually, to be fair. Now I think about it. There was that question that was brought to me once upon a time. I was like, yeah, I'm good. See you later. Yeah. Yeah. But to be fair, there was more to the story. More to the story. It was more to the fact that I was told that this person would move to where I'm at. And then all of a sudden, they were like, no, I never said that. I said you should move to... okay. Now you're calling me a liar. Okay, that's not good news. Anyway, with that being said, let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section and we'll talk about it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and of course, peace.